Hello. This is our Friday, August 28th condensed class to kind of go over what our highlights were for from our teaching today. Um, my froggy parents starting next week, and to anyone else who's viewing this next week, I'm going to break up the segments into reading and math, especially since we're going to be diving in a lot more. I want to be able to give more content to the children so that while they're doing independent work, if they need to refer back to the classes, they can, and they can actually just go to reading or math, whichever one they need to look at. Today we started by talking about being a good citizen, going along with our feelings. Um, Being a good citizen goes along with our social studies that we're doing right now that you guys are doing independently. So, talking about being a good citizen, the first thing that we looked at was saying Josh sees money sticking out of his mom's purse and decides to take $10. Is Josh being a good citizen? The students discussed if this was a good choice or a wrong choice, and also what could they do differently to make it a better choice if it was a wrong choice. The second one that they looked at was Michael sees an older man with a cane walking into a store. He holds the door open for him. Is Michael being a good citizen? This was another discussion that we had in class. Is this being a good citizen holding the door? And who else could you hold the door for? Was this good? Was this not? How could you make it that way? The story that we read was Minosaur, talking about a dinosaur who likes all the stuff. He's very selfish and nobody wants to be friends with him. And how he wasn't, we talked about how he wasn't being a good citizen, but at the end, how he turned around his feelings and how he turned around his actions to make things better. In math, we finished up. Sorry, I'm going over all of my slides. In math, we finished up talking about ordinal numbers and we did a practice with our math series. This will be in the math books that you're going to be getting sent home here in the next couple of weeks. So I will share out those practice pages. I can't show them on this channel because they are property of the school. But the students are doing really well with the ordinal numbers. So I was very, very impressed with that. Okay, I'm really focusing in on the students hearing the beginning sounds of words. So students are still fixing my welcome message. I'm also focusing on that last punctuation. This is just, we're still in the beginning phases of our class. I'm just seeing what the children know. The letter that we did today was the letter D, and my focus was on making sure that they wrote the letter D the right way, the lowercase. I taught the kids if they take and look at their fists together with their thumbs up, that the first one is the B, the second one is the D. So there's a trick to help them understand those lowercase B's and D's. So encourage your child to do that if they're still frustrated with how they're writing those. We talked about how with the D sound, it makes that D. So with B, they sound similar, but B, my lips are coming together, B. But D, my tongue is touching the roof of my mouth and it's bouncing, D. So making sure that we really see those differences in their mouth formation, but then also hear those differences in our words that we are learning. So the vocabulary that we talked about and gave thumbs up and thumbs down on was dolphin, dollar, and dime. All start with a D sound. They all start the same. Banjo, I threw that one in to trick them. I wasn't able to. They did a good job hearing that difference. Banjo, turtle, and walrus do not have that beginning D sound. We sounded out our words. I'm really focusing in on slowly sounding those words out. And I know some of the students can read them, but I want them to practice that sounding out. So as we're going into the more complex phonemes later on, that they still are taking that time to sound them out. We also reviewed rhyming. Do they rhyme? Do they not rhyme? And we looked at the word family app, the app word family, making those sounds and rhyming those words. The students finished up with the level A sight words that I have given them. Next week, we will move on to the level B sight words. So if your student is still working on these level A words, please continue to go over the sight word cards, and students continue to work on those. But next week, you will see the level B words come into play. The concept that we continued today was the read, think, write. And I did slow down the journal writing. Yesterday, I got to see where they were at. Today, I modeled a little bit more. So we read the story, Z is for Moose, by Kelly Bingham and Paul Zielinski. This is all on YouTube if you want to search it, or if you're in my class, you can go to our virtual reading room. After the children got done reading the book, I did model how to draw a picture and how to write about the book. So making sure that you are not giving them the answers. If they look at you and say, "How do I spell this word?" You just say, "What word is it?" Let's say it slowly. Do not spell the word out. Don't give them a yes, that's right, or no. Let them play around with their spelling. That's going to be the best way for them to hear each sound. It's telling you what sounds they are hearing correctly and what part of the words. It tells you a lot more information than just can they write it. So parents, if you would like to do a journal writing, take a picture of it, send it to me. If you're one of my Froggy students, please do. I've actually asked that all parents give me one journal writing so that I can have their beginning of the year progress, where they start. That would be great. If you want to do that today with today's assignment, that's great. If not, you can do it sometime before Wednesday. You can email or submit it in Google Classroom. So today we just wrote about what is your favorite part. We're drawing a picture of that favorite part, adding in those details. We're taking the step forward from kindergarten, making sure that even if they're drawing the details, because then the drawing will happen and then the writing will happen. So that is our lesson for today. Again, if you have any questions and you're a part of my Froggy group, please email me. If you are not, thank you for coming and visiting my channel today. Next week, I will break them up into a math lesson and a reading lesson. So have a great weekend.